Skip over to Exodus 17. There's two stories here. The first one in the first part of the chapter. They have run out of water. There's nothing to drink. There are a few things in life that are more driving than thirst. When you get to a point to where you have to have water, it is an all-consuming desire. And they go to Moses, we don't have anything to drink. And Moses once again goes to God. And what does God say? Moses, the rod, man. Moses was LD. He was kind of a slow learner. The rod. Take the rod. And he took the rod and he hit the rock, and there was enough water to come out to satisfy all of the people. The principle of the rod. Have you ever been there in your life? You ever been to a place where you did not have enough of this? To a dry place? It could be physically. But you know, you can be in a dry place emotionally. You ever been there? You just dry emotionally. Psychologically, you can be in a dry place. And you can be in a dry place spiritually. And if you are ever there, remember the principle of the rod. Turn it over to God. Let Him deal with it. The second part of that chapter, the Amalekites are coming to do war with Israel. Now keep in mind, Israel does not have a trained army. As far as we know, they probably had very little when it came to weapons. The Amalekites would have had a trained army coming against them. But I love this one because now Moses is starting to catch on. And Moses calls Joshua and he says, choose out a few thousand people. We are going to fight them in the valley. I am going to take the rod of God and go on a hill over here, and I'll take Joshua and I'll take her, and we will watch from the hill. And if you read the chapter later on, Joshua engages the battle where Moses, Aaron, and Hur are over here on the hill, and it said Moses raised the rod in his hand. And when he did, the Israelites started to prevail. But Moses is 80-something years old. That's kind of hard to do. Just holding your hands over your head gets tiring after a few minutes. And he put his hands down, and it said they could tell that the Amalekites started to prevail. So this is really cool. Aaron and Hur said they brought a stone over, or they moved Moses over and set him on the stone. He held his hands up like that. And Aaron was on one side and Hur was on the other, and they held his hands up. And that is a beautiful picture of what Christians should do one with another. It is a beautiful Christian picture of what churches are all about, or should be about, and that is holding one another up in the power and for the purpose and in the presence of God. And the Israelites won the day. People, when you get in the battles of life, when the Amalekites come at you, whether physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, you remember the principle of the rod of God.